Exporting software is a unique challenge, and for companies doing business online or adding Internet of Things functionality, it's an area you can't afford to ignore. U.S. export control and sanctions laws impact software exports, and falling out of compliance can have serious consequences. Whether you're aware of it or not, if your software crosses borders, it may be subject to these laws. I'm Kari Crane, editor of Shipping Solutions International Trade Blog Passages. Today I'll share 5 essential tips for staying compliant when exporting software. But before I get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our basics of exporting videos. First, be aware of all the platforms where your software is distributed or accessible. Software can be exported simply by making it available for download to overseas users. This includes FTP transfers, cloud platforms, or app stores like Google Play and Apple's App Store. In fact, just making software source code or object code available to non-U.S. persons here in the U.S. can qualify as an export. Even for software as a service, you can face compliance risks if users access it across international borders. Recent cases show that compliance failures here can lead to hefty fines, even for small businesses. So make sure you're fully aware of all the ways users might access your software. Next, let's talk about classification. Properly classifying software is critical. Under U.S. regulations, the Department of Commerce's Export Administration Regulations, or EAR, govern most software that doesn't have a military application. But to get it right, you'll need to understand whether your software uses encryption, what it's designed to do, and where it's developed. It's helpful to work closely with your software development team to understand the software's encryption and functionality. Detailed records are key. Many companies use classification worksheets to keep track of this information. If you need help classifying your software, I'll share a link below to try our product classification software for free. The third tip, understand the purpose of your software and exactly who's accessing it. Know your end users, who is downloading the software, how the software is distributed, if the end user has a right to further distribute it, and its intended end use. Even software that's minimally controlled under the EAR can still be subject to sanctions administered by the U.S. Treasury and Department of Justice. To help with this, make sure you have a system in place to conduct due diligence on end users and intermediaries like distributors. Some companies are using IP blocking and automated screening to verify eligibility. I'll link a free trial of our restricted party screening software below. You can use it to be sure your end users are entities you should be doing business with. Tip number 4 is all about reporting requirements. U.S. export laws and sanctions regulations include specific procedural requirements that, if overlooked, can create compliance risks. Many software products with encryption qualify for the ENC license exemption. But here's the catch. ENC often requires exporters to file annual or semi-annual reports. If you don't submit these reports correctly and on time, you can face major penalties. This is a step that many companies overlook, especially when they're new to exporting software. A little preparation here can go a long way, so don't get caught off guard. Finally, tip number 5, have a written export compliance plan and follow it. A detailed export compliance program, or ECP, is essential. Not only does it keep your process efficient, but it also demonstrates your commitment to compliance, which is a strong defense if issues arise. If your procedures aren't written down, or if you aren't documenting your compliance steps, there's a high chance something might slip through the cracks. That's a risk no company wants to take. If you need help creating an ECP, you'll want to download our free guide, How to Create and Implement an Export Compliance Program. It'll walk you through the steps. Before you go, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more real-world advice for exporters like you. For even more resources, check out the hundreds of articles on exporting and compliance available on our blog, shippingsolutions.com/blog. It's linked below.